Welcome to 666, the final answer part 8. In this video, I will explain how I came to know the answer to the riddle of 666. This video will be extremely controversial, and it is for this reason I expect to lose a portion of my subscribers and friends. If you have viewed part 7, you would already know that I was living in the wilderness of Luna County, New Mexico, and this was where I was to record the eclipse as I was continuing my research in an effort to find the answer to the riddle of 666. It was now late afternoon in the desert, and the eclipse had come and gone. I gathered all the data that I recorded together that evening. I began to sort out the data into different categories. As the days passed, I became more desperate than ever to find something within the data I had. I needed this data so that I could form some sort of recognizable pattern or even a base for a mathematical formula. I was counting on this eclipse to give me some sort of clue to work from. I now soon realized that there was no information left to check out. I had finally reached a dead end in my quest to find an answer to the riddle. I can't tell you how many times I gave up and walked away, vowing never again to continue the research into the riddle. It was late November was when I finally decided to give up my quest to find the answer to the riddle. I came to the conclusion that the riddle was not meant to be solved, at least not at this time. Anyway, now I was in the process of getting the things I had brought with me packed away so that I could return home. During these last couple of days, I couldn't help but to constantly dwell on all the time that I wasted looking for the answer to the riddle. These last 2 days were very stressful, depression and a lot of anxiety as I finally hit rock bottom. This is why I began to read certain verses in the Bible, maybe that would comfort me and relieve me from all the stress and anxiety that I had. Soon I began to feel energized. And this is when I made this solemn declaration. It was this: I would never give up my quest to find the answer to the riddle again. I would search for the answer until I found it. Suddenly, a very intense bright white light filled the room. This light was everywhere. This intense bright white light was not coming from any certain point in the room. Instead, it filled the room evenly from wall to wall and from ceiling to the floor with the same intensity. There should have been shadows in the room, like under my desk and around corners of the room, but there were none. The room was filled with this light evenly, and it lasted for about 10 seconds or more. I have never seen a light such as this, so intense yet it was easy on the eyes. At the same time the light appeared, I noticed a white mist descending evenly from the ceiling to the floor. This white mist covered everything, including me. It didn't feel cool like water, it was about body temperature. As soon as this white mist reached the floor, it was gone, and at the same instant, so was the intense white light. All this took place in a little more than 10 seconds, and then it was over. I was immediately moved to go to Revelation chapter 13, verse 18, where the riddle was, and I read it again, just as I did 1,000 times before. But first let me tell you what happened. As soon as I began to read the riddle, a beautiful tiny blue light appeared at about 1 foot in front of my eyes. It would last for about 5 seconds, and it would appear again about 20 minutes later. This lasted all night and even into the next day, but it appeared less frequently then. This tiny blue light still appears to me even today, but some days not at all. I have since searched the internet, hoping to find others that might be experiencing the same thing. I eventually came across a website called The Blue Pearl. I found out that people in different parts of the world have also seen the same thing. This blue light has been called the Blue Angel. Others call it the indigo disc, or blue dot, or blue sphere. The color of the blue pearl has been described as vibrant, electric blue, even brilliant indigo. This website explains that the blue angel, which appears, is, in reality, the symbol of the path through the door that leads into the kingdom of God. They say the blue disc would appear of its own accord, and one cannot invoke it. Anyway, as I was saying, I was immediately moved to go to Revelation, chapter 13, verse 18, where the riddle was, and I did read it again. I began to read the first part of the riddle. It states, "Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast." I suddenly realized and understood that the word beast should be counted. I counted it, and it totaled up to the number 16. The lion is a beast, and it is referred to in chapter 13, so I also counted the number of that beast by counting the stars in the constellation of Leo the lion. The number of stars also totaled up to the number 16. I immediately opened the almanac that I had and searched for the Pope's list. The Pope's list is a list of all the popes from the first pope, who was St. Peter, to Pope John Paul II. So this is what I did. I looked down through the list of popes looking for a pope that had a 15 following his name. There was a Pope Benedict the 15th in 1914, so the next Benedict to come would have to choose the name Benedict the 16th. Of all the hundreds of popes that served, there was only one name that was available that the number 16 could fit. It was Benedict. What are the odds of that happening? So now I found the name that is associated with the number 16. It was Benedict the 16th. The second part of the riddle says, "For it is the number of a man." It is Benedict the 16th, and his number is 16. The last hurdle was the third and last part of the riddle. It states, "And his number is 666. If the letters of his name add up to 666, then he would be the man the riddle is referring to. The name does add up to 666, so Benedict the 16th is the man the riddle is referring to. This is explained in detail in parts 5 and 6. Benedict the 16th is the only man in the world that can be connected to both numbers 16 and 666. It was now December 1991, and as soon as I returned home, I told family and some friends that the next pope would have the name Benedict the 16th. They all knew that I was researching the riddle for many years, but none of them knew anything about the subject. Over the years, I would remind them about what I had said about the next pope and the name Benedict the 16th. Benedict the 16th is the only man alive today that can be associated with both numbers 16 and 666. No other man in the history of the world has ever been associated with both numbers 16 and 666. This should tell you how exacting and flawless this riddle is. The number 16 is the key, and by using it I found the name Benedict the 16th locked up within the riddle. Could this number 16 somehow help me find the name of the man that would be elected Pope in the future? View part 9 and you will see this astounding information. In video 9, you will see how the numbers 16 and 666 are directly related. This relationship will be revealed through a hidden code system found in the book of Revelation. As you view these videos, keep track of the number 16 because it is the key that opened up the riddle, and it will be the critical key that will open up much more information within the book of Revelation. Thank you for viewing this video, and may the grace of God be with you always.